It is essential to be up to date on happenings around you, and to make that easy for you, ladies and gentlemen, we present Freshlight, where we bring fresh newspaper headlines to limelight. Mondays to Saturdays, 8:30 a.m. to 9 a.m. on Al-IyamoyeTv and radio. Watch, like, subscribe, and make sure your notification is activated on our YouTube channel. You can also like and comment on our pages on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Al-IyamoyeTv and radio.
It's a lovely morning from this side. These are Al-IyamoyeTv and radio. And this morning on Freshlight, we are going to be looking at newspapers one after the other. We have on our shelf The Punch, Vanguard, Daily Trust, The Nation, Daily Sun, and Daily Independent as our tabloids for today. I am OLUWAFISAYOMI, AJIBOLA. Let me save you the stress of flipping to the newspaper pages, through the newspaper pages, and read it out to you as you journey home, journey to work, or settling down at work. Let's start with Daily Trust newspaper with the lead story there. Doubt over Buhari's fresh 800 million loan request. That is on the cover page. Also on the cover page, you will see Tinubu left for Europe to reduce distraction, spokesperson. NBC lacks powers to impose fines on broadcast stations, cut. EFCC arrests Buhari's ex-power minister over 22 billion naira fraud. These are cover stories on Daily Trust this morning. Going into the details, let's look at the first one here. Doubts over Buhari's fresh 8 million naira loan request. The details as it. President Muhammadu Buhari has asked the Senate to approve a new loan request of $800 million, which he said will be sourced from the World Bank. Buhari made the request in a letter read by the Senate President Ahmed Lawal yesterday's plenary. This is just as the Budget Office of the Federation raised the alarm that Nigeria was fast exceeding its borrowing limits. The Debt Management Office at the March disclosed that Nigeria's total public debt stock, including external and domestic debt, increased to 46.25 trillion naira, or $103.511 billion in the fourth quarter of 2022. Get details on Daily Trust with the headline: Doubt over Buhari's fresh 800 million loan request. Okay, also on Daily Trust, you will see why we are awarding multi-billion naira contract 18 days to go, FG. The federal government has explained why the Federal Executive Council was approving multi-billion naira contract 18 days to the end of the President Muhammadu Buhari's administration. The Minister of Transportation, Muazu Sambo, and his water resources counterpart, Sulaiman Adamu, explained this after the cabinet meeting. Sambo, while reacting to a question that sought to know the reason for the award of contract, with the outgoing ministers would not execute due to expiration of tenure on May 29, said the administration would continue to perform its duties up to May 28. To get details of this story, pick up a copy of Daily Trust. It has the headline: Why we are awarding multi-billion naira contract 18 days to go, FG. Okay, still on Daily Trust, let's quickly look at one also that is trending. Obi distanced self from attacks on Adeboye. The presidential candidate of Labour Party, Peter Obi, has distanced himself from the social media attacks on the General Overseer of the Redeemed Christian Church of God, Pastor Enoch Adeboye. Adeboye had at the weekend during the monthly Thanksgiving service at the RCCG headquarters in Ebute Metta urged Christians and Nigerians to pray for the incoming government and that God will support it and give it the grace to do the right thing. Obi supporters had reportedly attacked the cleric on the social media. In a statement yesterday, the spokesperson of the Obi Data Media Office, Diron Nifade, said Obi respected Adeboye and would never be involved in holding him. Obi distanced himself from attacks on Adeboye. That is on Daily Trust this morning. Okay, let's move to another newspaper, away with Daily Trust. Let's look at what the Nation newspaper is reporting this lovely Thursday morning. On the cover page of the Nation newspaper, you will see this. APC pledges revisit of zoning amid lawmakers' protest. Also, why annual budget fails to perform. Tribunal dismisses another party's petitions against Tinubu APC. Tinubu in Europe, an investment drive. Dangote, Elumelu, NNPC are high in performance. State failed to access 46 billion in education funds, and Lagos state government seals off 12 Banana Island houses. These are stories on the Nation newspaper as published today. Okay, let's give attention to the details of this news. Let's look at these. APC pledges to revisit zoning amid lawmakers' protest. The All Progressive Congress, APC, yesterday began moves to douse the tension generated by the zoning and endorsement of candidates for National Assembly principal offices. They also said the protests have imposed on the party leadership the urgency of extensive consultations over zoning. APC had on Monday zoned the Senate President to the South-South, Deputy Senate President to the Northwest, House Speaker to the Northwest, and Deputy Speaker to Southeast. Also, the ruling party endorsed Senator Godswill Akpabio for Senate President, Barau Jibril for Deputy Senate President, Tajuddin Abbas for Speaker, and Benjamin Kalu for Deputy Speaker. To read details of this, look at this headline. APC pledges to revisit zoning amid lawmakers' protest. That is found on the Nation newspaper. Okay, also on the Nation newspaper, you will see this leading story. Tribunal dismisses another party petition against Tinubu APC. Another petition against the election of President-elect Bola Ahmed Tinubu was dismissed yesterday. The presidential election petition called PEPC voided the petition by the Action People's Party APP after it was withdrawn. It is the second of such petitions to be dismissed after that of the Action Alliance. APP lawyer Obed Agu said the client filed a March 9 motion on notice to withdraw the petition with the Independent National Electoral Commission INEC. Tinubu and the All Progressive Congress APC has responded. He prayed the court to strike it out. Tribunal dismisses another party's petition against Tinubu APC. The Nation newspaper has the details of this story. Still on the political atmosphere of the country, annual budget failed to perform. Why annual budgets fails to perform? The Nation newspaper reports, abandoned federal project that littered length and breadth of the nation has been blamed on the called unimplementable annual budgets. Akabweze, who also said the country was in trouble due to its shrinking borrowing space, warned that it was wrong for anyone to assume that Nigeria was a rich nation. It added that $100 billion was added annually to meet 20,000 abandoned projects nationwide. The DG spoke in a speech at the ongoing inductions of National Assembly members-elect in Abuja. Okay, see details of this on the Nation newspaper. Why annual budgets fails to perform. Okay, lastly, on the Nation newspaper, let's look at these. UBEC laments state's inability to access 46 billion fund for basic education. The Universal Basic Education Commission, UBEC, yesterday said over 46.2 billion naira matching grant for the development of public primary and junior secondary school has remained unassessed by some states. Acting Executive Secretary of UBEC, Professor Zalazar Kari, stated this during an outside oversight visit to the commission by the Senate Committee on Basic and Secondary Education yesterday in Abuja. While presenting 2022 Capital Budget Implementation Report, Zachary said 162 billion was allocated to the states as UBE grants people between 2019 and 2022, while 106 billion naira was assessed by 36 states and FCT. UBEC laments state inability to assess 46 billion funds for basic education. That is on the Nation newspaper this morning. Okay, let's look at Punch newspaper. On Punch newspaper, you will see the cover stories like this. Dissent in APC. Aspirant demand fresh zoning formula. Also, 4 men on trial for killing cousin. Lagos arraigns Ndigbo for terrorism. Ex-power minister arrested over alleged 22 billion fraud. Trouble looms over rising debt, budget office warns. Subsidy, Buhari seek approval of 800 million palliative loan. NNPCL needs huge investments to meet demand. Dangote. These are cover stories on Punch newspaper as published this morning. Okay, let's give attention to the details of this story one after the other. Okay, let's start from NNPCL needs huge investment to meet demand. Dangote. The Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited needs to roll out massive investment in terms of oil and gas to meet the demand of these commodities. African richest man and chairman Dangote Group, Aliko Dangote, has said. He said that the national oil firm should invest more because there were many off-takers waiting to off-take the product from the company. Dangote spoke at the ongoing 2023 Annual Value Assurance Review workshop of the Nigerian Upstream Investment Management Service Limited, according to a statement. The Punch has the details of NNPCL needs huge investment to meet demand. Dangote. Trouble looms over rising debt. Budget office warns. The Budget Office of Federation has said Nigeria now has a limited borrowing space due to its poor debt-to-revenue ratio, stressing that trouble looms for the country if it exceeds its limits. The Director General of Budget Office, Ben Akabwese, while addressing members-elect of the 10th National Assembly at their week-long induction ceremony in Abuja on Wednesday, pointed out that while Nigeria remains healthy with its debt-to-GDP ratio, the country is not with the debt-to-revenue ratio. Akabwese was speaking to the newly elected and returning members of the National Assembly, which is responsible for the consideration, amendment, and passage of annual budget of the federal government, as well as economic bills like the Finance Bill. Trouble looms over rising debt, Budget Office warns. That is on Punch newspaper this morning. Senate presidency, dissent in APC, aspirant demands fresh zoning formula. It has this rider: APC zoning creation tension cannot guarantee unity. Zanozo warns. North Central Senator Wright APC chairman decries zoning exclusion. The details as it: aspirant of the Senate presidency have rejected the adoption of a former minority Senate leader and ex-minister of Niger Delta Affairs, Godswill Akpabio, by the All Progressive Congress for the position of President of the Senate in the 3rd National Assembly. The contestant faulted the party's position of the National Assembly leadership announced after its National Working Committee meeting last week and demanded fresh zoning of the principal offices. Also, a grave aspirant of the position of the Speaker of the House of Representatives on Wednesday stormed the APC headquarters in Abuja, where they demanded a fresh zoning formula. Senate presidency, dissent in APC, aspirant demand fresh zoning formula. That is a report from Punch. Let's quickly look at the Metro page of Punch newspaper before we would move for a commercial break. 4 in custody for killing Ogun herdsmen. Let's look at details of this story. 4 in custody for killing Ogun herdsmen. 4 suspects have been arrested for allegedly shooting a herder, Umaru Aliyu, to death and dismembering his body in Ijagure village along Shagada, the Mekwafon local government area of Ogun State. The State Amotekun Corps Commander David Akinremi disclosed this in a statement on Wednesday. Akinremi said 2 of the suspects were arrested by his men in the state, while others were arrested by men of the Oyo State Police Command. He explained that 7 suspects were involved in the killing, which occurred on April 30, 2023, around 6 p.m. 4 in custody for killing Ogun herdsmen. Punch has the details. Rivers Police nabbed 8 suspected kidnappers, rescue victims. The police in Rivers State said 8 suspected members of a cybercrime kidnapping syndicate were arrested when its operatives raided a hideout in crypto estate Ubuebule 1 in the Eche local government area of the state. Spokesperson for the State Police Command, Grace Enrique Koko, disclosed this in a statement issued in Port Harcourt, the state capital, on Wednesday. Enrique Koko said the raid was carried out by Command's Hawk Tactical Team on Tuesday following credible intelligence, saying the suspects were between 17 and 22 years of age. River Police nabbed 8 suspected kidnappers, rescue victims. The Punch is reporting. We'll go for a commercial break. When we come back, we'll look at the other 3 newspapers left on our shelves. Do stay with us.
Thousands have been disappointed severally in the bid to see greener pasture abroad. To those quack in the traveling agency business, it is a rocket science. That is not our case at Tausaf Travels and Tour. We have in-depth details on how to successfully, without stress, help you process and secure your visa to anywhere in the world. Do you want permanent residential visa, visiting and tourism visa, student visa to places like Europe, America, Asia, Africa? It's no big deal to us at Tausaf Travels and Tour. Our years of experience and expertise speaks volume for us. Let's process and secure visa for you to UK, USA, and Canada within a twinkle of an eye. We offer Hajj and Umrah services to our Muslim faithfuls. What are you waiting for? Consult us at number 9 Tausaf Central Mosque, Sholanke Street, behind Laroy Hotel, Abiola Way, Abeokuta. 0802 733 0900 or 0806 578 4060. Stop wasting money. Pay for peace of mind. Talk to Tausaf Travels and Tour. Thousands have been disappointed severally in the bid to see greener.
Gbogbo aláfẹ́ tó gbayì tó fẹ́ wọṣọ yìí ṣoge tó pàgbàmù ló ń kọjá lọ sí House of Zion. House of Zion. The name I know when we talk of top-notch fashion, quality materials and class. House etima ojúlówó Turkey wear, Malaysia clothing, Dubai, àwọn designer bags lóríṣiríṣi, àwọn ìtẹ̀lẹ̀ bàtà tó jiná tí wọ́n fa ọwọ́ original ṣe, àwọn aago káàdì ọjọ́, designer sunglasses and perfumes, pẹ̀lú àwọn gbogbo nǹkan tóbìnrin àsìkò fi ń gbáfẹ́ lò. Níbẹ̀ ojú mi ń ṣe kámi, èmi ni ó rà, èmi ni ó mú gbogbo ẹ̀yin tẹ́ gbòógì gbọ́n pa fashion, tẹ́ hijab àti àbáyà lóríṣiríṣi. House of Zion lẹ́ò ti rí gbogbo ẹ̀ rà. House of Zion Ọlọ́run ṣògo road, adjacent Redeemed Church, Agape Parish, Ọlọ́run ṣògo Abẹ́òkúta. Lórí Instagram, House of Zion 081688618. House of Zion, ilé ìtajà ojúlówó aṣọ àti nǹkan aṣaralóge tí ń gbéni níyì.
Welcome back. It's still Freshlight on Al-IyamoyeTv and radio. Don't forget that this content can be shared by you to your loved ones. As you're seeing us on Facebook, just click like and then share our content to others. Well, we have 3 newspapers more. The Daily Independent is what we are moving on to now. On Daily Independent, you will see cover stories like Wase aspirant ranking reps rejected APC endorsement. Why we're still awarding contract days to government exit, FG. OBLP backs Atiku's plea for live broadcast of PEPC sitting. Okay, also on the cover page, Senate indicts AGF, NADVAC, 45 MDAs for financial infraction. Buhari seeks Senate approval to borrow $800 million. Nigeria, 59 others at risk of missing maternal newborn SDGs target. Don't interfere in Bayelsa governorship poll, Diri wants army. Tinubu heads for Europe, 18 days to May 29 inauguration day. These are cover stories on Daily Independent this morning. Let's give attention to the first one. Nigeria, 59 others at risk of missing maternal newborn SDGs targets. Nigeria is among over 60 countries that are at risk of not meeting the maternal, newborn and stillbirth target of the Sustainable Development Goals SDGs without urgent intervention, the World Health Organization has warned. Raising the alarm was Dr. Tedros Adhanom, Director General of the World Health Organization, while addressing delegates at the ongoing maternal and newborn health conference in Cape Town, South Africa on Tuesday. Despite the advancement made in the last 20 years in an attempt to lower maternal and newborn mortality, Dr. Guayeso noted that reductions in maternal and newborn fatalities had now reached a plateau. Nigeria, 59 others at risk of missing maternal newborn SDGs targets. Daily Independent has the details. Also on Daily Independent, WASE aspirant ranking reps reject APC endorsement. The zoning of leadership position in the House of Representatives may have stoked a major crisis in the ruling party as Deputy Speaker Idris Wase on Wednesday led some speakership aspirants and ranking representative elected on platforms of the All Progressive Congress on a protest visit to the party's national headquarters. The party members who registered their grievances during a meeting with members of the APC National Working Committee led by Senator Abdullahi Adamu said they were shocked to read that various leadership positions of the Third Assembly had been zoned and micro-zoned to individuals without necessary consultation as promised by the party. Wase aspirant ranking reps reject APC endorsement. We can read up details on Daily Independent newspaper. Still on Daily Independent newspaper, more demands for charcoal stove in Abuja as residents rue kerosene scarcity. The demands for more eco-friendly charcoal stoves and charcoal in the nation's capital appear to be on the increase after kerosene prices shoot up. Residents now seek alternative in cheaper stoves for cooking. Use of cooking gas is also prohibitively high in cost. According to survey, residents of Bari Area Council of the FCT said they stopped using kerosene as alternative means of cooking because of its persistent high cost. The residents spoke in separate interviews in Abuja. If you want to read details of that report, it's found on Daily Independent with the headline, "More demands for charcoal stoves in Abuja's resident rue kerosene scarcity." Okay, let's look at one story more before we move to another newspaper. Okay, let's look at this. There is no legal framework to stop swearing in of Tinubu Ubani. Monday Ubani, former vice president of the Nigerian Bar Association and also former chairman of the Ikeja branch of the association, in an interview with Daily Independent, bare his mind on the 2023 general elections ongoing presidential election tribunal, the controversial 25% vote of the FCT for presidency, among others. Read up that interview section on Daily Independent with the headline, "There is no legal framework to stop swearing in of Tinubu." Okay, let's move to the Sun newspaper and let's look at the cover pages of Daily Sun newspaper this morning. Okay, on Daily Sun newspaper, you will see these headlines. APC hints of review as rejection greets zoning arrangement. LP Obi back Atiku on live broadcast of tribunal's proceedings. NGF rejects as court bars NBC from imposing fines on broadcast stations. Oshibajo in Imo to flag off Oguta Lake Orachi River dredging project today. While we are still awarding multi-billions naira contracts, FG. These are stories on the cover page of Daily Sun as published this morning. Okay, let's take it one after the other. Let's start from NANS leadership. APC hints of review as Akeredolu G7 orders fourth zoning arrangements. The All Progressive Congress APC is likely to revisit the controversial zoning arrangement for the 10th National Assembly leadership. National chairman of the party, Abdullahi Adamu, dropped the hint when he addressed 7 speakership aspirants codenamed G7, comprising Yusuf Gadi, Mukhtar Haliyu Batara, Ahmed Idris Wase, Alhassan Doguwa, Soda Soli, Mariam Onua, and Aminu Sani Jaji, who met with the APC NWC members at the National Secretariat in Abuja yesterday. Addressing the APC chairman, Gadi emphasized that the arrangement was wrong because the National Assembly is an independent body that cannot be turned to the presidency's Federal Executive Council, where people are picked at will. NANS leadership, APC hints of review as Akeredolu G7 orders fourth zoning arrangements. The Sun newspaper is reporting that this morning. Okay, let's look at some political stories again on the Sun newspaper this morning. Let's look at Tinubu travels to Europe to meet with investors, fine-tune transition plans. The details has it that President-elect Bola Tinubu has traveled out of Nigeria for a working visit to Europe. Tinubu departed the country yesterday via the Murtala Mohammed International Airport in Lagos. Tunde Rahman, his media aide, said Tinubu will use the opportunity of the trip to fine-tune the transition plans and programs and its policy options with some of these key aides without unnecessary pressures and distractions. He said during the visit, the president-elect will engage with investors and other key allies with the goal of marketing investment opportunities in the country and its administration's readiness to enable a business-friendly climate through policies and regulations. Tinubu travels to Europe to meet with investors, fine-tune transition plans. Okay, also on Daily Sun, presidential poll. LP Obi back Atiku on live broadcast of tribunal's proceedings. Labour Party LP and its presidential candidate Peter Obi have supported the request by People's Democratic Party PDP and its presidential candidate Atiku Abubakar for live broadcast of the proceedings of the presidential election petition court sitting in Abuja. Counsel to Labour Party and its presidential candidate Livy Uzokwo made this known yesterday while speaking with newsmen after the court adjourned pre-hearing section in their petition challenging the elections of the presidential candidate of All Progressive Congress APC, Bola Tinubu. Uzokwo said it has become imperative to have the proceedings covered live so that Nigerians will have the first-hand information of what goes on at the court and will clear doubt in the minds of millions of Nigerians. He said live broadcast of court proceedings was initiated by colonial masters but jettisoned when Nigeria got independence. Presidential poll. LP Obi back Atiku on live broadcast of tribunal's proceedings. The Daily Sun has details of that. Okay, let's quickly look at the last one on the Daily Sun. Abga crisis. Court stop Oye from parading as national chairman. A High Court of the Federal Capital Territory FCT has restrained Chief Victor Oye from parading himself as National Chairman of All Progressive Grand Alliance (APGA). Justice Mohammed Madugu, sitting in Bari Division of the Court, equally restrained Oye from holding any meeting or gathering, be it NWC, NEC, congresses or convention in the names of APGA, pending the determination of a suit filed in the respect of the party's leadership crisis. The injunctive orders were issued sequel to a motion of notice filed against Chief Victor Oye and the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) by Otumba Kamaru Ogidon, National Vice Chairman, Southwest Geopolitical Zones of APGA, and Alhaji Rabiu Mustafa, National Welfare Officer of APGA, two APGA National Working Committee members under the leadership of Chief Idoze Njoku. APGA crisis. Court stops Oye from parading as national chairman. Delison has the details of the story. Moving on to the last newspaper for the day, and that is the Vanguard newspaper. Let's look at the cover stories on Vanguard newspaper as published this morning. Senator-elect, reps-elect move for open contest. Presidential poll, court adjourns Obi's petitions against Tinubu till March 17. Dangote, Lumelu hail NNPCL's performance under Kyari. BVN has no expiry date, CBN. Eaglets go for World Cup ticket against Burkina Faso. Buhari writes Senate seeks approval of 800 million naira loan. NGE hails court for stopping NBC from fining broadcast stations. These are among the leading stories on Vanguard newspaper as published this morning. Let's give attention to them one after the other. Okay, let's start with 10th NAS leadership. Senators-elect, reps-elect move for open contest. Plans by the ruling All Progressive Congress APC through its National Working Committee NWC to impose leadership of the 10th National Assemblies appear to be creating more problems for the party, as some of the lawmakers have called for an open contest and squaring up to confront the party. This came as the controversy generated by the zoning formula put forward by NWC is tearing the parties apart. Some aggrieved speakership aspirants yesterday told the national chairman of the APC, Senator Abdullahi Adamu, that he betrayed them after asking them to slow down their campaigns and give room for consultation. 10th NAS leadership, Senator-elect, reps-elect move for open contest. Buhari writes Senate seek approval of 800 million naira request. President Muhammad Buhari had on Wednesday wrote to the Senate asking the Honorable House to approve a new loan request of $800 million. In a letter read by the President of the Senate, Senator Ahmad Lawan, President Buhari, who noted that the loan will be utilized to scale up a national social safety net program, said the loan will be sourced from the World Bank. If you need details of that story, pick up a copy of Vanguard newspaper or go online to check. Buhari writes Senate seek approval of $800 million loan request. Okay, let's look also at this. 2 die. 8 others hospitalized after drinking tea at wedding ceremony in Kano. What a sad story. 2 persons have been confirmed dead after drinking tea prepared with local leaf, popularly called zakami, at a wedding ceremony weekend in Sheka, Kambusu local government area of Kano. The ward head of the area, Usman Musa Zakari, confirmed this to journalists who visited the area yesterday. This was contrary to unconfirmed report from the area that put the figure of persons who lost their lives at 7 or more. Zakari gave names of 2 victims at Mubarak Bala, also known as Diga, and Ibrahim Kahaili. According to him, if it is true that the incident happened, It happened when the person drank the tea prepared with a local leaf called zakami and a combination of other drugs. 2 persons died and 8 others were hospitalized. 2 died, 8 others hospitalized after drinking tea at wedding ceremony in Kano. Let's be careful what we eat and where we eat it. On that sad note, we'll say it is a wrap on Freshlight this lovely Thursday morning. I remain OLUWAFISAYOMI AJIBOLA. Continue to be our guest on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter with our handle at Al-IyamoyeTv and radio. We have other programs lined up for you. At the top of the hour by 9 o'clock, you will be listening to the Yoruba version of the newspaper review, which is called Ojunto. Do enjoy the rest of your day.